Hello, students. I hope you are doing well. I was sitting here doing some homework because I'm getting my doctorate. I'm doing my dissertation. I'm reading a bunch of books on qualitative studies and how to do a qualitative study. I was thinking about a conversation I had with a student a few weeks ago. And the student was really frustrated and depressed. They're behind on their schoolwork, which happens for many reasons. Sometimes you get sick, sometimes you have a family emergency, sometimes you get to go on vacation, and so you're like, I ain't doing no schoolwork. Sometimes you're just lazy. Sometimes you just have bad study habits and work habits. But whatever the reason, good or bad, sometimes you kind of like fall behind and you get depressed, and then you start to question, like, why am I even going to school? Why am I in high school? Like, what is the whole point of all of this? And that's a really good question. And it's a question that we as educators and administrators and our culture don't really give you students a good answer to. So I'm going to give you an answer to that. Like, what is the point of high school? Why do you got to do it? Why do you have to go through middle school? Why do you have to go through school at all? Well, couple things. One, we are teaching you content, okay? So that you're not completely stupid about content. Whether it's science, math, social studies, history, like government, politics, like at least you know a little bit and have some background knowledge. We cannot possibly teach you all the math in the world. We cannot possibly teach you all the science in the world in high school or middle school. But hopefully you get a taste of a little bit of everything where you understand and have some background knowledge. All right, two. Hopefully, you will build off that background knowledge and decide like, hey, I'm interested in this subject matter. And I might want to do a career in this. Maybe you really love science. Like my son really loves science. Maybe he's going to go into a career in science. He also loves making movies and watching movies. Well, maybe he's going to grow up and become a sci-fi director or a science, make documentaries about science or TV shows about science or work for the Science Channel or National Geographic. Like there's things that can overlap, like science and making movies. Does that make sense? So going through high school, you're allowed to like experience a little bit of everything, and hopefully by the time you're a sophomore, junior, you've got a good idea of like, hey, what do I want to do when I leave high school? What do I want to go study when I leave high school so that I can be an expert in that thing and then go and make money at it and have a good life and make cool stuff and stuff like that. So those two things, give you some background, a little bit of everything. Two, help you kind of figure out what you want to do in life in general as an adult. And three, teach you soft skills. Soft skills. What are soft skills? Soft skills are basically like skills on just how to be a good employee and a good human being. All right? So when I give my students a due date, it's not for me. Like, I don't care. Like, personally, I don't care. Like, you could wait till the last possible second, do all your schoolwork. That's fine with me. Problem is, the semester ends in December. There's nothing I can do about that. So if you turn all your schoolwork in the last week of school, I'm not going to grade it. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I don't have time. Like, because we as teachers have a bunch of stupid box checking that we got to do. Like, we have to. It's the end of the semester box checking. And just like we have to do it at the beginning of the semester, and we got to do it at the end of the semester. And there's a bunch of stuff our boss gives us that we got to spend time doing and a bunch of meetings we got to go to. Even though we don't want to do any of that stuff, it takes up all of our time. And now we don't have time to grade all of your assignments at the end of the semester. Especially if you've got 200 kids, 200 students. Like, you just don't have time. That's one of the reasons we set deadlines, so that we can set you up for success, but also to teach you that in life, there's a cutoff time for things. If you want to sign up to go on vacation, you got to go get a hotel room. Like, the sooner you get a hotel room, the better room you get. If you wait till the last second, they might be sold out. So learning time management, how to set goals, like small goals, like getting your homework done this week, being on time to class. Why is it important to be on time to class? Like, why do we care? I don't. Like, I don't care. Like, I make the same amount of money whether all my students are on time or all my students fail or all of them are late or all of them pass. I make the same amount of money. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, they tell me at the beginning of the school year, you're going to make this much money, and that's it. They're not going to give me any more, and they're not going to give me any less. So it doesn't really matter to me. But you need to learn how to show up and be on time, because one day you're going to go somewhere and they're going to be like a job interview, for example. You're going to show up late for a job interview, and they may interview you, but man, you ain't going to get that job. Like, because if you're already late for the job interview, imagine if they're depending on you to be on time or to run a meeting and you're going to be late. It just embarrasses them. Like, it embarrasses that employer. So being on time is important. These are soft skills that we're trying to teach you so that when you leave high school, you know the basics of life. And this isn't really explained very well. It's more, I think in a lot of school systems, it's more about control and controlling students when they do what and how they do things, what they wear. And it's not really explained like why that's important for you to understand. You know, you don't show up to a job interview wearing sweatpants and tennis shoes or yoga pants, you know, or your pants sagging. You have to look like $1,000,000, you know, or you have to look like you're trying, you know, and that's the thing that I want to express to you guys is what I want you to learn is these soft skills. Think of high school as basic training for life. If you can't pass high school, man, high school's not that hard. It's really not, guys. If you study, do the work, you're good. Like, I mean, if you just do those two things, you will pass high school. Show up, 3 things: show up, study, and do the work. But you know, like, you have to learn how to do those 3 things. If you can do those 3 things, you can get through life pretty well. You can go pretty far in life, no matter what career you do. But, you know, it does worry that some of my students feel like they can't do those things. Like, they can't catch up on their work. They can't show up to class on time. They can't. It's like, guys, like, I'm worried, you know, that you guys aren't going to be able to hold a job when you get out of high school. Because I've got friends that own companies. I got friends that work in various organizations, government organizations, private organizations, charitable organizations. Man, if you're not doing those 3 things, you don't have a job. Like, it doesn't matter what you think they owe you, you're just not gonna have a job. So that's one of the reasons we really want you guys, that's one of the things I want you guys to learn in school, is those 3 things. How to show up on time, how to get your work done in a timely manner, study. So yeah, because even as an adult, you got to study. Like, as teachers, I got to study all the time because there's always something new. So show up on time, work hard, study, and have a good attitude. Your attitude, guys, is the only thing that you have control over. It's the only thing. Nothing in this world will you ever have control over anything else but your attitude. And sometimes that's really, really hard. So these are just some things to think about. I hope I kind of explained one of the reasons why you guys go to school, why we have certain rules. And if you get any questions, just let me know. And I'd love to answer them, especially I know some of you guys who watch this might be in a different school system than the one I work at, but a lot of school systems are very similar. So, all right. See you, students. Bye.